Wyoming have proactively surrounded their classmates with words of encouragement. So let's talk about this. Good that you are here, Principal Greg Bruno. Hello, Principal Bruno.
Good morning, Shelley. Thank you. It's a blessing to be here.
Where'd you say you're from?
I'm originally from Boston. So yeah, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. I came back here with my beautiful wife in 2006. So we've been here almost, will be 13 years this July, and I'm blessed to be principal of St. John Vianney Catholic School. It's over in Wyoming. We have preschool, toddler room through 8th grade, all together, preschool through 8th grade. We have almost 300 students. And it's in a wonderful community, and I think Ian and the project he put together and his classmates' efforts are just one of the many examples of the wonderful things that go on in our school. But I couldn't be more proud of this project and what it's grown into.
Thank you. We'll talk about it. 8th grader Ian Jokers. Good morning to you, Ian.
Good morning.
Yes, and you want to be a vet when you grow up, you told me before we... Yep. What are your cats' names?
They're Whiskers and Tiny.
Are they, is Tiny tiny?
He was when he's a kitten, but not anymore.
Yes. Being a vet for a profession means there's a lot of science and math and chemistry and obviously loving animals. So I'll continue this journey, Ian. Okay, let me go back to this project, and obviously we'll go back and forth upon how did this happen. But what is this group of we'll call you SJV students doing to put words to work for good? Go for it, Ian. What are you doing?
We are sending positive messages in email form to the whole middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And we have 4 members, and we send twice a week.
Does everybody, you said 6th through 8th graders, correct?
Yes.
Does everybody get an email or two? Yes. How did you come up with this idea?
Last year in English class, we had a project where we had to see how our words could change the world. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to send the emails just to my class. And over the summer, my principal, Mr. Bruno, met with me, and I asked if we could continue it throughout this year, and he said yes.
Nice. Mr. Bruno, again, that assignment, how are we called to use our God-given talents to change the world? And here Ian comes up with this idea, and you went with it.
Yeah, Mrs. Rossi, who last year was with us, she came up with this awesome end-of-the-year project. Instead of a traditional end-of-year assessment, just questions and bubbling in, multiple choice fill-in, she came up with this idea of project or problem-based learning as a final assessment. And her overall theme was how are we using our God-given talents to change the world? And so it was a all-encompassing project. It was quite amazing. There were several portions to it, so it wasn't just your traditional. The kids kind of think of something and present to the class. That was part of it, but they had to come up with an answer to the problem, right? How are we called to use our God-given talent? How can our words change the world? Is what Ian chose. So they had to do a presentation on it, but they had to capture data to try and track the impact of the way they solved that problem. They had to write a formal letter inviting someone to attend their presentation. And then they had to, in the presentation, they had to use their data. They had to have some type of survey or data collection of their impact, try to measure their impact. And so Ian, I was quite flattered. He had written a letter to me, mailed it to me at home. I mean, it was very official. You think of English language arts classes, you think of all the key pieces they're supposed to teach kids. And instead of just, here's how we write a letter, I mean, this was, an enhancement on kind of the traditional way of doing things. And I had felt terrible. I had a separate student issue kind of come up, and I wasn't able to make it to Ian's presentation, even though I had told him I would be there, and I felt awful about it. And so I went and said something to Mrs. Rossi, and I said, look, I feel terrible, and she said, look, just do this. Email Ian's parents, see if you can set up a meeting in the summer and bring them in. And I said, oh, geez, Deb, that's brilliant. Just like this project you came up with, it's brilliant. And she said, hey, just do me one favor, though. When you meet with them, ask him why he invited you. And I said, oh, yeah, I mean, that's, easy enough. I can do that. And so I did. And, I was blown away, both by everything that Ian had done, just even this notion in this day and age of, these positive emails to his classmates. Just what a wonderful what a wonderful use of school-provided technology. You know, we can focus all the time on how kids and young adults. I don't mean to call him a kid. You know, he's way beyond the wonderful young adult beside me. How they are called, you know, or how they use technology, how they choose to use technology, and it was just a wonderful, you know, given that he found a wonderful way to use it, and so I was blown away by that. I was blown away by his data, and so I asked him, you know, why did you want me to come? And he said, well, Mr. Bruno, I want to continue. I want to expand. Can we continue this? And so we talked through some of the logistics of it, and I just kind of provided some logistical support and got out of his way because, man, is he brilliant. So are the three that do it with him. They're all amazing young men and women. So.
Right. All right, Ian. You surveyed your classmates about the email's impact. Talk about that.
Well, I sent the survey, and I was kind of surprised about the results I got back because almost all of them that said that they would have liked if it had continued throughout the next year and like on through that. And they all said that they very much liked them. So
that's great. So do you have a I guess a sample of what I would receive? I think Mr. Bruno's maybe going to pull out. So if you were to send me a positive message, would it say? I mean, I guess I'm looking for an example of what you would send in general.
Usually it's like a quote from a famous person or some author, but yeah.
Yeah, something like, maybe Mr. Bruno can pull up. I want a real example. Yes.
Yeah, Ian sent one about a week ago. That was I don't know. I think it's just the positive message of it, but I believe it was LBJ that he was quoting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is that?
It was, yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose.
Save that for me. I'm going to write that down. What if you, I mean, is this going on now? Does it have an end date line, or are you going to continue this?
I think we are going to get a group of 7th graders, and they will continue to do the project after we left St. John Vianney, and they will continue doing what we did.
Nice. What impact is it having so far this year? Just in somewhat the same question put a little different.
I think it's making like a more positive environment in our school. Everyone like is in a bit better of a mood. Yeah.
So you do stop and think about a sentence like that, Mr. Bruno. Yes.
You know, and as principal, you know, I would definitely say, there's far less incidents of discipline issues within the middle school. There's far better relationship, peer-to-peer. The peer-to-peer piece is as good as I've ever seen it. You know, and I take no credit for that. I mean, that's in large part, the fact that totally driven by a student effort that, they're looking out for one another. They're, quotes like the one that Ian read, talking about, we talk about growth mindset a lot in education, this idea of embracing that you're going to have to fail multiple times. And, this quote is a nice piece of that, and a nice pick-me-up when kids can often get down, about, tomorrow's not ours, yesterday is not ours to recover. We get so focused on our mistakes from the past, and here's, this 8th grader that a lot of kids kind of look up to, right in their inbox telling them, no, look forward to tomorrow. It's a beautiful thing.
So when does the next email go out?
It will go out very soon this week.
Do you know what it's going to say? We don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but do you have a gut feeling of what you'll be sending?
I am not sure yet.
Okay, because then all your classmates are probably listening right now as we speak. And are you keeping track of the different emails you send out? This would be good fodder for a little short book or something in the future. I would think a collection of, I'll write you forward.
No, I like that. I might take you up on that. That would actually be a beautiful coffee table book. Yes.
Yeah, maybe take a piece of time and put those together. But until then, you send out the email. And just a couple minutes left, Ian. No doubt, the 6th through the 8th grade, it's important to receive these messages. It's important to receive them, 50 years from now too. But tell me more about. Cyberbullying goes on. You're hoping if this touches one person, maybe it's been worth it.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that maybe the people who receive the emails, like, not just in our school, but they could send them to other communities that they live in and share them with their families and friends. And
Yeah, being from Boston, I like to think of it as good old RFK quote, right? I mean, this is a tiny ripple of hope, right? That in someone's day will buoy them and hopefully amplify with other ripples of hope and have a nice swelling, a nice wave of positivity. I like to think of it as another famous principle kind of says, George Koros, that I'm going to make the positive so loud no one can hear the negative, and I think that's what Ian and these young men and women are doing.
You have another one you can pull up while I say goodbye to Ian here? All right, Ian. So what classes do you have today?
I have literature, science, social studies, and religion class.
And you're now completing radio class. How's that? All right, Ian, what's your take-home message, as I usually end with? Do you have a quote to send your West Michigan audience home with?
Yes, by Martin Luther King Jr. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way.
Thank you for that. Go get 'em, Ian Jokers. Congratulations on your leadership as an 8th grader with St. John Vianney Catholic School. Your final words, Principal Greg Bruno.
Just what a blessing it is to see students come up with something on their own to drive positivity. And that's just... you think about our mission in a lot of ways as educators, our mission specifically as a Catholic school, right, to teach and instruct and to hopefully spread the gospel values of Christ, and to see that take root and to see kids run with it is just an amazing accomplishment.
You're a pretty cool principal, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. How do we find out more information about your school?
More information about our school, if you want to go to stjohnvianney.net, you can access the school webpage there. We have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, an Instagram feed. I mean, we are just all over social media and the web, so we'd love to, anybody wants to check us out, by all means.
Cool. All right. Stay the course. Thank you for changing lives. Take care.
Thank you, Shelley.